Nintendo has created some of the most iconic home consoles in gaming history, but not all of them are great. That's why in today's video, I'll be ranking all Nintendo's home consoles from worst to best. The console that is in my opinion the worst is the NES, also known as the Nintendo Entertainment System. It released back in 1983 in Japan and 2 years later in the US. Back then, it was mind-blowing. No one had ever seen a home console this good. Had fantastic games, great visuals, and decent controls. It really felt amazing 40 years ago. I still respect this console a lot because it basically brought gaming back to life, and it also created some amazing franchises that are still played today, like Mario, Zelda, Kirby, and Mega Man. But compared to the other consoles Nintendo released, it's just worse, and it feels dated nowadays. The next console on my list is the SNES. I know that's amazing, and most of the games hold up extremely well, and I do also think that the games on this console are absolute bangers, like Super Mario World, Zelda Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Mario Kart, and F-Zero. In my opinion, this console has the best 2D games ever created, and it also has a fantastic controller that is a major upgrade when compared to the original. It's now rounded, it has 4 face buttons instead of 2, a decent D-pad, and 2 shoulder buttons. But then why am I ranking this console so low? Well, I'm just not a big fan of 2D games in general. I'd much rather play a 3D game. Hope that makes it clear now. Now let's move on. The sixth best Nintendo home console in my opinion is the Wii U. Most people consider this console to be one of, if not the worst system published by Nintendo. But I really don't agree with that. Even though the Wii U was a commercial failure and had its problems for sure, I still find it to be a decent console. And most importantly, it set up the foundation for the Switch. Yeah, even though the Wii U had some flaws for sure, the idea for a hybrid console was still there. You are able to play either on the TV or on the gamepad, and the gamepad could be played without the need to be plugged in. This foundation was later ported to the Switch, but without the problems of its predecessor, like a bulky gamepad and very short range to play in handheld mode. These problems weren't deal breakers for most people, but they are for sure frustrating. Thankfully, Nintendo compensated an amazing library of games that included Mario 3D World, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Mario Kart 8, Yoshi's Woolly World, and Splatoon. Besides many amazing new games, you also had access to the entire Wii game library, which could be played without your existing Wii modes. Personally, I find the Wii U to be really underrated, but I put it this low on the list because I like the other consoles more. The N64 is the first Nintendo system that was able to play 3D games. Back in 1996, when it was released to the public, this truly felt like a next-gen console. You are able to play amazing new titles like Mario 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and Banjo-Kazooie, which all took place in a 3D environment. Of course, because it was the first Nintendo console in this category, the games had some major flaws, like very bad cameras, janky controllers most of the times, and pretty bad visuals. And to top it all off, the controller kinda sucked, because the analog stick didn't control well and it broke easily, and the shape of the controller wasn't the most comfortable to hold either. But at the end of the day, we can't be too harsh, because the N64 was the first of its kind, just like the NES, but this time it had better games. That's why it's a few places higher on this list. The Wii changed the way we see local multiplayer gaming forever. Thanks to this console, even our grandparents could have fun playing with us. Because motion controls are so simple and intuitive to use, everyone could play any multiplayer game on this console. The best ones in my opinion are Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. In these games you play different sports like bowling, tennis, box, and table tennis. Overall, the purpose of the Wii is to make anyone enjoy gaming, and it did just that. But it didn't offer that many games if you're a true gamer. That's why it isn't higher on my list. Even though this console didn't do anything groundbreaking like the consoles per on my list, it still ended up on the podium. Why? Well, the answer is very simple. The GameCube simply nailed the fundamentals, had amazing games that this time performed and looked way better when compared to the N64, didn't have any gimmicky functions that mostly annoyed you, it was very powerful, and it had a perfect controller that gamers are still using today in games like Mario Kart and Smash Bros. In my opinion, the GameCube is almost perfect. I simply can't find anything that I dislike about this console. The console is very powerful, the controller is very comfortable to hold and precise, and the games are some of the best Nintendo ever made. Some titles are Mario Sunshine, Zelda the Wind Waker, Zelda Twilight Princess, Luigi's Mansion, Smash Bros. Melee, and the best Mario Party and Air Sports game ever. The fact that the GameCube only sold 21 million copies really bothers me. In my opinion, it should be one of the best-selling Nintendo systems ever. It got everything right. The Switch is my favorite console ever made. I love the hybrid mechanic that allows you to play in handheld mode, but that also lets you play on your TV with better performance. Also, the game library is just amazing. You have plenty of games to choose from any genre you desire. It also has many other benefits, like a good display on OLED models, a very good battery for a handheld, and 2 controllers wherever you go, thanks to the Joy-Cons which slide on and off the rails from the side of the console. I'm not saying that the Switch is flawless, because it has plenty of downsides like uncomfortable Joy-Cons, Joy-Con drift, very limited power that isn't able to run big AAA games from big developers without making many sacrifices, and other minor problems. But the console is just very fun and enjoyable, so that's why it's my favorite. Thankfully, Nintendo solved all these problems had with the Switch 1 a month ago when they released the Switch 2. This console is better in every way when compared to the original. Bigger and better screen, more ergonomic Joy-Cons, and a much more powerful system that can even play 4K games at 60 FPS, or 1080p games at 120 FPS. It's almost as powerful as an Xbox Series S or a PS4 Pro. I think that's a perfect upgrade. So, this is my ranking of all Nintendo home consoles from worst to best. Make sure to tell me your ranking in the comment section. I'd also appreciate if you would leave me some feedback and like and subscribe. I was David. Bye. Have a nice day.